This crash totaled Rolls Royce Cullinan just sold for $201,000. For that money, you could have bought the Ferrari, Porsche, and Mercedes that were sitting right next to it and had a little bit of cash left over. So why, in such a soft market, are these salvage exotic cars still fetching record high numbers? Today, we'll try and answer that question while taking a walk around this auction to see if we can find some real value. I see these out here by the truckload. Look, this one has carbon fiber looking wheels. I see another one out there in the distance. The problem with these out here is that they never open up. Oh, look at that. I jinxed myself. That's all you have to do with these C8 Corvettes is tell it that it's not going to open up. It's dinging, the keys are there, and a couple loose screws are right here. We're seeing some lights. We're hearing a lot of dinging. We've got service power steering. We do know that the windshield wipers work, but the oil pressure is highlighted and lit up. I'm not even going to try and start it. This likely has a motor issue. That would be the reason it would be out here. I'm telling you, out of all of the C8 Corvettes I've ever seen out at the salvage auction, and it's been quite a few, this is the first one that's actually had battery power. Now, looking a little closer at the wheel, we're getting a little bit more of the story here. First of all, I think these things are just hydro dipped because they still have that metal, really solid feel. But you see this tire right here popped out a bit. This thing likely went off-road. It's missing the arch liner right here. That looks a little bit scraped up, just a little bit, but you know, these things are low to the ground. And well, the rear engine is probably pretty low to the ground. That tire also looks deflated. Maybe it hit something. Maybe it took out an oil pan. These are all just guesses. I don't know what's wrong with this thing, but the top of the engine all looks pretty darn perfect. The bottom, on the other hand, I would bet probably has an issue. Wait a second, there's way more to the story here. So this C8 had a final bid of $52,000. Once you tack on the auction fees, someone paid around $56,000 in total for this car. This is an intriguing deal because this Corvette was listed with a clean title, and a quick check of its car vertical report confirms that it doesn't have any title issues, but it does have some damage history. Now, these C8s are still selling upwards of $70,000 or $80,000. Heck, this thing is probably still under warranty, but warranty won't cover a hole in the oil pan, so this is still a huge gamble. But before we speculate anymore, I did a little bit of digging and found the VIN from the same exact car in a Hillsborough County legal notice. Now, these legal notice publications are just a mess of county related matters, including a bunch of public auction listings for things like abandoned storage units and, in this case, abandoned cars. Most of these cars are old and nearly worthless, but this week was a good one. Among this nearly new vet was a 2015 Mustang and a 2016 Jetta. If I had to guess what happened here, I would think that after this car was damaged, someone brought it into the shop. The shop said it was going to be very expensive to repair, and then that person probably just never showed back up. They didn't pay any sort of money they owed the shop, and then as the car sits at the shop, they can start incurring storage fees. And at one point, the shop can put what's called a mechanic's lien on the car and take ownership of the Corvette via the title from the state of Florida. Now, you might wonder, what if the car is financed? Wouldn't the bank want ownership of the car back? But basically, nobody wants the car at this point, especially if it's severely damaged. Everyone just wants the money. So the financing bank would probably be going after the owner. And again, the shop is just selling the car for whatever they can get for it. Now, here is the public address listed in the notice. And this is where they auction their abandoned cars out of. It would be amazing to buy a C8 Corvette out of this lot, because I got to imagine the first person to buy it got it for an absolute steal. From there, the car was then sent over to Copart, where we know it sold for $52,000. I gotta wonder, what sort of money did they make on this deal? The bottom line here is that this is still a clean title, low mileage C8 Corvette, and it will be advertised as one when it shows back up for sale. But if you got the car vertical report, you would have seen that it was flagged for some sort of prior damage. And these photos would show you what the condition of the car was like when it ran through auction. And this goes to show you how important it is to have these photos, if available, in your vehicle history report, because right here, this picture of the gauge cluster shows the engine running on just 1 pound of oil pressure, along with a light warning you about the transmission. And this is why I really like Car Vertical, because more and more clean title cars are passing through these salvage auctions nowadays. If they transact, Car Vertical archives and provides these photos in their history reports, and it gives you a much clearer story than what you might be told at a dealership. Hit the link in the description and use code SAM20 at checkout to save 20% on a Car Vertical report. Whether you're buying a new daily driver driver or a project car. Get the real story with Car Vertical. Ooh, what is this? A Mustang Mach-E Shelby? Come on. They didn't make a Shelby edition Mach-E, did they? I know Shelby America out in Vegas likes to customize factory Ford cars. This one is, look, this was a Hertz rental Shelby. I'm very familiar with the Hertz Rent-A-Racer. They've been doing it for years. It started a long while ago. You used to be able to buy a Mustang that was hopped up a little bit. It was usually just a V8 car like a GT, and then Hertz would rent it to you. Here's one of them right here. So this is a Mach-E GT Hertz Rent-A-Racer. Does it open up? Ooh, boy. It's crunched up. It doesn't seem to open up. It looks like the window's out here. Let's see. Button. Battery is probably completely dead. It's got a carbon fiber hood, which is an interesting choice for a electric car. The frame even looks halfway decent in this corner. A little bit of superficial damage on the apron there, but overall not bad. The crash bar got bent in a little bit, but that's exactly what that thing exists for, is to get bent up. And we've got the little PC fan just hanging out right here that you'll find in electric cars. Be interesting to see how much this sells for. You could pick these GTs up, not in this Rent-A-Racer spec, in the mid 30s right now. That's how undesirable these Mustang Mach-E's are. So if this sells somewhere in the teens, it'd be worthy of a rebuild and a pretty unique car that nobody else would have except for, well, Hertz. Ooh, you want to talk about a gamble. If this car sells for $500, it probably still isn't worth $500. 227,000 mile Audi A8L. What engine do we have? Ooh, the 4.2 liter. I think the timing chain just left the chat. Well, the timing chain is still there. It's the guides that usually go bad on these. But this one, for 220,000 miles, it's in pretty darn decent shape. This one's not lighting up when we get in the interior, and it looks a little bit nicer than the one we used to have. Yeah, battery is dead. It's a lot cleaner. It has the upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system. Anything under $1,000 this is a great parts car, but I don't think you want to be owning and maintaining an Audi A8L. Copart is turning into the Rolls Royce dealership here. We've got two Cullinans side by side. This isn't the first time I've even seen a Cullinan here. We've seen a few of them, and always the Copart Cullinans have these outrageously cool interiors. This one is a royal blue, and hey, the dashboard even lights up. So it's got 1,000 miles on the odometer, and boy, what is even wrong with it? Okay, oh, you heard that. You heard what's wrong with it. We'll take a look there in a second, but in the interior, no airbags have deployed in this car. We have a little bit of quarter panel damage. This one from here, if this is all the damage that's on this Rolls Royce, it's not so bad. We needed a quarter panel replacement. Of course, some of the suspension is pushed in, but darn it all, does the rest of it look amazing. That's it? This car was totaled because of this right here. Obviously, we got a little bit of suspension damage down here, but even the rim looks like it made it out halfway decent. You need a new center cap. Do these spin? Well, this one at least doesn't anymore. I got to look in here. You see this guy right here? Look, little bit of unibody damage right back there. That's when the insurance companies tend to start totaling stuff out. Otherwise, if you just pull this a little bit and replace the quarter panel, I imagine if you bought the parts new, it wouldn't cost more than $20,000 or $30,000 to replace this. This is all the damage on a 1,000 mile Cullinan. This will go for a lot of money, but it's worth a lot of money. If you don't mind a little bit of extra work, this one is definitely going to be the discounted one. We got a substantial amount of damage here, and we actually saw this one once before. They've cleaned it up a little bit. There was a lot of hanging loose parts down here, and it's kind of cool. You can get up close and see the BMW sticker on the cooler there. The interior of this guy, again, with that amazing orange color. I don't know, I think I like the orange better than the blue, but the one thing I don't like is all the different popped airbags. We've got a pillar here, we've got the knee airbag, the dash airbag. That's always an expensive one because it pops a hole in the leather dash. Of course, the steering wheel. Did the knee one go down there? Yes. Basically, all the bags in this car have gone, which on the interior in itself, you're probably talking about 5 figures worth of airbag replacements. It's really amazing to think that these two totaled Rolls Royces together cost well over $500,000. If we factor auction fees being roughly 10% of the sale, nearly $600,000 were spent here, which hardly makes any sense. Now, the used Cullinan market is kind of all over the place, and values are heavily dependent on mileage and condition, but you can see right here that these things range between about $250,000 and $400,000 used. Now, a new Cullinan can exceed $500,000, but with heavy first-year depreciation, it's like someone paid a straight-up used price to buy one that needs work, is much more difficult to finance, and will be much harder to sell in the future. The only explanation I have here is that with the popularity of these auctions, a lot of overseas buyers are active, and one of these Rollses was purchased for export, likely to a country where it could be even more expensive than in the US to obtain one. And a lot of the time, outside countries don't recognize American title work, so any sort of blemish on the title will basically just go away. It's still hard for me to understand or justify, so if you have anything to add, let's continue this discussion down in the comments. A lot of really cool stuff out here today. I've seen a handful of Teslas already. This relatively new 4 Series BMW, but the thing that really catches my eye is this, a big mystery. What S-Class coupe is this? Is it an AMG? It's been debadged, or is it just a regular 550? Heck, some of these have V12s in them. This one's got 47,777 miles, and the windows are even indexing, which means that it's got battery power. Let's see here what we got. I'm gonna guess just by looking at the interior, well, it has that suede headliner. It has the Designo, however you say that, Designo interior. Hood pop. What are we guessing down in the comments? It's probably just a regular 550. A lot of these cars come with AMG packages on them, so nicer rims, things like that. Yep, this is going to be a regular 550 V8 twin turbo engine. Still a very neat car and a desirable car. The other question is, does it run? We got battery power. We better find out, because this would be a good pickup if it sells cheap. These cars still cost somewhere in the $40,000, $50,000 range. Well used, really clean. They are even more expensive than that. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. Starts right up. We got a check engine light. It says auxiliary battery malfunction, which is the secondary battery in this car. It is running a tick rough. I can definitely feel a little bit of a misfire. You can actually see the door vibrating a bit if you look. So there's definitely something wrong with it. This could be a very good gamble for the right price. I'm bound to find a good Jaguar today. This one, while it's an amazing color, this is not it. I'm looking at the one behind it, which is also an amazing color, British Racing Green. Did we find the XKR that we've been looking for? I don't know. Those wheels don't look like they're from an XKR, and well, that interior looks like it was mauled by a Jaguar. Let's see what we got. Another XK8, another XK $800 parts car, 71,000 miles on the clock. And yeah, this one's not going to do it for us, and neither is that one. I just noticed that it's a V6. What is going on? Is this a real M coupe? These have gone up in value tremendously. You used to be able to pick these things up, I don't know, in the mid to low teens. 94,900 miles. Yeah, looks like an M coupe. And this car now, with the coupe, I say that because some of them came as convertibles, is worth probably more like 30,000 bucks, of course, if it didn't have that damage going on right there. Although it doesn't look like too bad of a fix. Let's see if we can get this hood open real quick. And there we go. This is the same exact engine you get in the E46 M3. That's why these are so desirable. And if you think about it, this car would probably be way more fun to drive than an E46 M3, given its size. What about the battery? Is it completely dead? We want to hear this thing run, because this is another great car to put on the list. All right, key is going in. It is dead as could be. I bet you this was probably run and drive, no airbags deployed. And so we've got to look a little closer and see what a fix would entail. on this M coupe, because you look at stuff like this and you go, doesn't look that bad, just needs a fender, right? But obviously got a lot of suspension damage, so just figure a whole new suspension corner, which wouldn't be too bad. We've got the apron that's crunched in here a little bit. I would think that a good frame machine could pull that right back to where it belongs. If you wanted to get crazy, you could replace that section. You could see where it's kind of pieced in here, welds in to the rest of the car there. We definitely have a headlight, which I'm pretty sure is the same off of a Z4, so that's probably readily available. The bumper, man, you'd love to get a new front bumper, and hopefully you could still get one. I know when I fixed up a E46 M3, BMW themselves, the dealership, actually still carried the front bumper, although I'd imagine they made many more of those E46 M3s than they did of these Z4 coupes. Let's look in here. Sometimes this can be deceiving. You see these tires move around, they'll beat up metal like it did right there. You see that giant dent in the unibody? That's why this thing was totaled out. Man, that's the tough part of this car. Could it be pulled out? Sure. It's a bigger job than it looks at first, but if this car sells well under $10,000, it's a bargain, and someone would snap it up in a heartbeat. Do you see how many miles it has on it?
317, right off the lot.
317 miles on a new Bronco, totaled. Oof.
This thing's sick though. Oh man.
They're cool, man.
The two-door is the only way to go. This thing's bad.
It is a nice color. I like the white. I like the black accents. I just don't know that I like it much better than a Wrangler, you know? That's kind of like...
It's just different. We had the Wrangler for, you know, way too long.
That's true. Wrangler's kind of been, you know, tried and true. Ooh, this thing had a bad hit. Could you imagine getting your new Bronco, 300 miles, and all of this? Look at every single airbag on this passenger side is deployed.
Dude, for real. That is rough.
And so this is one of those ones that's so new that someone might want to build this. I mean, it's you could do this. You buy all that stuff.
That's a pretty big hit.
You could buy this new bracing.
I think the problem's gonna be by the time you finish it, these things are probably gonna have lost.
That's the
a lot of their
biggest
value.
issue, right? When you're buying something this new, if you don't fix it in like record time, you're gonna just get hit on the depreciation, and it's not worth it. These are so fun to watch because how much are these things selling for? They're like $60,000 and $70,000. So even if this sells for like 30, right, and then the person pays 8 or 9 to fix it.
Yeah, you got a $40,000 salvage car that's like...
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. What are you saying that the brand new, almost brand new 317 mile Bronco sells for?
I'm going lower. I'm gonna say 28.
28, okay.
That'd be a decent price for somebody. Maybe.
So when we bought the Ford Focus RS, that was like a brand new model, hot model. Everybody wanted a Ford Focus RS. And I got it running, sent it to the body shop where it's at for 8 months.
Yeah, there you go.
8 months, and there was that. I lost, I don't even want to talk about it. I lost so much money. And then the guy I sold to, really nice guy, I don't know, it was for his son or nephew or something like that. They crashed it almost immediately after it was, V-Tune went and put everything, it was repainted, it was perfect. Boom.
Should have went back and rebuilt it again.
No, I had enough of that car at that point. These are nice right here, these Escalades.
Oh, man.
I think
they're coming down in price, too.
They're definitely coming down in price. The question I always have is, does it have Super Cruise? Like, I think there'd be like 1 million cameras up front or
Was
sensors.
it the lane assist type thing?
It basically drives itself. And it does it, it doesn't make you put your hands on the steering wheel.
Oh, really?
It watches for your eyes being on the road. If your eyes aren't on the road, then it tells you to take control. Now, this one was mashed really hard in the rear, but, you know, ooh, I say but, that's not good. That's a tough hit right there.
Oh, wow.
Look at how.
That's some force, man.
Yeah, crazy.
Rip the sheet metal right in half.
Oh, you can't even open the door. Look, both doors on this side are completely jammed shut. Is it because it's an electric popper, or is it because of the accident?
Oh, yeah, these ones are locked too.
Oh no, okay, it's an electric popper. That's all it is. So you feel the button on the inside?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't actually pull out. That's kind of cool. What is this thing? Tenacious?
This is a silly
Tenacious?
looking... Dude, you probably get this for steel.
I don't know if you pay anything for this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
If it's, let's see here. Oh, it's got a bunch of so much stuff in it still. This is tough.
What do we got?
This is tough. What is that burn car? Mercedes? It looks like it. No, it's a Kia. Wow. Whoever knew? Okay, you see what I see?
Oh, the Jag?
The Type R Jag. We gotta look at the Type R Jag. Now these are really sharp. Look at those wheels.
It is a neat looking car.
With the throwback Jag insignia center cap, the big Type R brake rotors. This is one of the best looking cars with one of the worst looking interiors in the history of cars. Look at how dated this interior is.
Oh yeah, man, look at that infotainment.
It is just so old school, although this one has really nice wood trim, and they're calling it a portfolio, so this must have been a really loaded up car. Now, here's the question. What year is this? Because after 2010, these had like 500 horsepower, but before 2010, they had like, I don't know, 390 or 400. It's kind of a, oh, we can't get in. I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. This is a pre-2010, so this car could go really cheap. It's hardly that damaged. Like the front bumper, what else is bad on this? This is not bad. So Sage, this is like the epitome of you wanna be
cool.
a little flashy, look cool. You don't mind dealing with something a little needy. Jag is what
it
you
is
go
a nice
for.
car. It looks like something like an older grandpa might drive, though.
Oh,
you know, like a rich old grandpa.
Is that, I mean, I would drive it.
What does that say, Sam? You're getting there.
We saw this mirror poking out.
Oh, she's a beauty.
Is it the Z06? It looks like it. I can see the wheels from the side. This is it. And I actually already have this one on my watch list. I'm watching it like a hawk because I've always wanted one, and this is definitely the right color, and the damage look pretty tolerable. We're looking at the front here, and it literally looks like the bumper and the fender is missing. Now, it's a Z06, so it's a little wider, and so I'm guessing that's going to cost a little bit of money to get those parts. But if you pick this up reasonably cheap, this would be a great project. Yeah, there's nothing else wrong with it, man. Look at this. This is sweet. Let's see, is the door open?
Oh, yeah.
37,000 miles, really low miles. Oh, the interior's nice and clean.
Oh, that is low miles.
It smells good in here, Sage.
It does, dude. This is just like mine.
Someone babied this thing.
Dude, this thing is clean. 40,000 miles, you said?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, battery's dead. I bet you that thing runs. No problem.
What's it here for? Oh, I guess just this.
The front end?
Yeah, I always forget these cars get totaled out so easy. That's probably only a couple grand with the parts.
Yeah, you just got to probably find a used front bumper, fender. The headlight assembly could be pricey.
They're like 250 a piece.
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
The whole thing with the flip up and everything?
Yeah.
Sage is a C5 expert. He has taken one completely apart and almost got it all the way back
almost
together.
got it back together.
But you see like this right here, obviously you fixed that, but
Exactly.
they're probably quoting for replacement of all this stuff. So this car, if it wasn't damaged with only 40,000 miles, these would probably be 22, 23.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you got to figure you could buy one with some more miles on it for around probably in the mid to upper teens, which means you got to pick this one up for like 8.
Oh yeah, I think 8 would be about the highest you'd want to spend.
Yeah, that's it.
It.
Look at this, only has 1,710 miles. Is that what I'm seeing?
Right off the lot.
There we go. A new Defender 4-door.
I don't mind it. It's actually not too bad.
It's not bad. At first I'm like, man, this brown. They're doing cool things with brown. We're in 20,
oh, for sure.
Whatever year this is, 20 something or other. We're doing cool things. This is like a burgundy brown. And what do they say here in the front? This has a badge. It says X Dynamic. I think this is the really expensive version of this car. Ooh, this one is really nice. Let's see what we got going on. I'm gonna pop that hood. It smells brand new in here. how much room we got in the back of a Defender. It is pretty tight. And what is wrong with it? Here is our problem. A little light rear end hit. Sage, this is what you would call light work. This is called a pull or two on the frame machine. And even though the quarters on both sides, they look like totally fine, right? Let's see, looks good over here. Looks even better over here. Look at the gaps. They're basically touching. You can actually see where the door rubbed the quarter right there. So that's why something in this nice shape and this expensive and this new will get totaled from what looks to be like a minor rear end accident. They got plowed into pretty hard. So out of all the cars you saw today, if you had to spend your own money on one of them, which one would it be? Personally, I'm really into the stuff that's under a few $1,000s. Smaller bids equal less fees and the potential to have a fun project that won't break the bank. If you enjoyed this auction tour with the final bid prices, be sure to hit that like button and follow along. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.